Hi, my name's Mike Rushton of Tamarack Outdoors and welcome to this video of the Helsport Ringstind Superlite. Let's look at the components of the tent. The outer weighs 436 grams and is made of a 15 denier Superlight microfiber, with the inner weighing 355 grams and is made of a 15 denier polyamide Superlight microfiber. We have a tent pole, a spare pole section and a repair tube, the pole bag itself with an integral peg bag, the pole weighing 174 grams complete, and then we have these really lightweight pegs. There's 13 of those and collectively they weigh 69 grams. So now let's look at pitching the outer itself. And one of the big things I do with the Superlight as well as the Ringstind light, which is my old tent, is have an anchor point just sticking outside of the tent bag. What this does, I can grab my pegs and then initially, if it's high winds or whatever, and actually peg the tent down before it actually comes out of the bag. Obviously this saves a lot of problems with the tent blowing away. So let's start with pitching the foot end of the tent. As previously mentioned, we have a peg point sticking out of the bag, so we shove a peg through that and peg that down to the ground. And from there the tent's secure, so we can get the outer out of the bag. And then we can peg out the rest of the foot section of the tent. So once that's done, now we can fit the pole. Just throw the pole forward, clip it all together, and then place in the channel. It's got this reflective material on here, and then feed through to the other side, making sure it's secure and home there before we actually put any tension on. On the Superlight there's no adjustment for this. This is just goes into this tent pole cup here. So we put tension on, arch the back up, and then place the other end of the pole in the pole cup. Like so. So now we can peg out the head end. I always place a pole in and use it like a toggle to put tension onto the tent, bounce the tent slightly, and then peg that one end in, ensuring it's securely in, and then the other on the other side. Quick bounce again, nice and tight. But as always with my equipment, I always make a modification, which I'll show you in more detail here. And this incorporates a small cling on here, but before I've done that I've actually reinforced the tent around here, then attached the small cling on. Just while we're in a close-up, I can show you the guy system on the Helsport. It's this nice little nifty, simple little adjuster. Okay, really lightweight, nothing to go wrong. So I'll peg this out, but initially not too tight. And then here I've got the spare pole section. Okay, this is the repair tube on the outside and this is the pole section here, and I just taped on either end. And all I do with that, I place it underneath, flip that end in, just have it at a slight angle, and then adjust the guy point to that. So you can see here now it's raised this side of the tent up. That's got two advantages. One, if you get heavy snowfall on this, the head end tends to sag slightly into the inner tent, so this prevents that, and also it gives more airflow in through in between the outer and the inner. Now you can see the Helsport Ringstind Superlite outer pitched with the modification and all the guys out, so we'll just look at some of the features. So as we walk around, this is the head end. So now you can see my modification. I just pan in a little bit slowly there. Just puts that little bit of an arch into it, so it really sheds snow. These two guy points here and here are really beneficial. What I try and do, especially up in the mountains, is pitch with the head end into the wind, so the wind direction going that way, and then I get a good airflow underneath the tent and over and out the vent at the back. Panning around. So this is the foot end now with the three guys out and the vent system. So it's real simple, a lot more simple than the other Ringstind series. This flap here is velcroed down, and it's got a hook on that end, and that actually clips onto this O-ring here. Okay, I'll lift that up there. You can see it's mesh vented anyway, to prevent our little friends from getting in. So in days like today, where it's actually quite frosty and stuff, to reduce the condensation inside, I'd vent that out, so I just put that up into there. And in cold evenings I just flip it down and it just velcros back down there like that. So now the outer's pitched, we need to open the door to pitch the inner. So all we do there is grab the door, open the zip, and then push it right the way home. Now on the Superlight there's only one attachment point here, so if you aim this corner and start to roll to the attachment point, you get a nice straight open door. There we go, door's open now, so we can pitch the inner. But what I do want to show you is this venting system here. I will show you that in a bit more detail. First of all, under here there's a little velcro stiffener, and all we do is pop the vent up, and just underneath there's another velcro point. Pop the vent up and attach that, so that allows condensation to be released, especially if you're cooking in the porch area. That allows steam to be released even better. If I lift that up as well, you may be able to see it's actually mesh lined, so keeping our little friends out again. But you must ensure though that once you're taking the tent down, that's down and stored in that fashion there. So it's time to pitch the inner tent. First of all, the foot end comes out of the bag, and I get these attachment loops. On the foot end, which you'll see the mesh, you get 5 attachment loops, 2 in each corner and 1 in the centre, and that is to coincide with the foot end. Then from there, just follow the system. It's quite easy to use, and attach all the attachment points until the inner is fixed in. So now you can see the inner tent fully pitched. Only takes about 30 seconds with a bit of practice. And one advantage I like with the Superlight over the normal Ringstind, it's a one zip system, which is really easy to use instead of the old Ringstind with a 2 zip system. And you roll the door back pretty much the same as the outer. You can see our attachment point there. Just to give you some scale of the size of the tent, I'm 6'1", weigh about 15 stone. So I'll just dive inside the tent and do the door up, just to give you some scale. Let's have a look inside here. So this is the cooking area. There's the tent bag in the corner. Loads of room for a small cooking system and your little bits of kitchen. This is the tensioning cord that tensions the pole. So as we see inside, it's got a 15 denier base. We've got a little pocket over there, and there's the back of it with the venting system. So loads of room in here. I can find I get lots of room to sleep on here, and with all my kit laid out on this end, rucksack at the head end. So as you can see, tons of room. Once the door is shut, I can in this area here I can store boots and all the other wet gear if it has been rain at the time. But you can look now. That's the modification work in there with a nice big gap between the outer and the inner, and so we come down there to the foot end, and there's the attachment points there. So now the tent's pitched, we'll look at taking it down and just a few hints and tips on that. So a good tip if it's been a heavy dewy morning or there's been plenty of rain in the night, what you don't want to be doing is packing your outer and your inner away together. That means your inner will soak up all that moisture, and when you come to pitch for the next evening, the whole of your inner's wet. So what I tend to do is just carry a small Exped ultralight dry bag, and if you have got quite a bit of condensation on the inner, or the outer's rain wet, actually take the inner tent down, place it in a dry bag to keep it as dry as possible, and then place the outer inside its tent bag. When you get to the other end, hopefully it's not raining, pitch the outer, get yourself a brew, leave this to dry, and then you can pitch your inner, leave that to dry out, and then you can put your sleep gear in and get set up for the evening. So that's pitching the Ringstind Superlite outer and inner. Now we need to take it down. So close all the doors, then I take all the guys out, then I take the head end out, then remove the pole, and then start stuffing the head of the tent into the tent bag first. So there we go, really brilliant tent.